British systems, colonial economics, European banking models. There's no Garveyism in JLP policy. There's no black upliftment in their agenda. They take the symbol of Garvey but bury the substance of Garvey. Now let me tell you something. You see, the next generation, this is truly a warning to you. You see, if the youth don't rise up now, you will not inherit land. You'll get no water, no real schools, no healthcare, no freedom, no voice, no power. And the JLP will still be smiling in Parliament, waving flags and collecting checks and signing deals to put you in digital chains. But hear me now. If Nanny could stand barefoot in a bush with powder and prayer, if Garvey could organize millions just by words and vision, if Sam Sharp could choose death over dishonor, then you have no excuse. You hear me? So let's talk about the great betrayal of the poor. You know who built Jamaica? Not the politicians, not the investors, not the foreign developers. It was the cane cutters with the cutlass, the banana man in the rain, the domestic helper waking up at 4 a.m., the man on bicycle with tool in a bag, the woman frying fish on the roadside, the picnic selling bag juice at stoplight. But under JLP, the poor are blamed. They are overworked. They are underpaid. They are ignored and taxed into submission. The poor built this land and the JLP built a wall to keep them out. Now let's talk about the JLP constituency scam. Let's talk about member of parliament, MP corruption under JLP. They came to the community, they come to your community every 4 years. Promise road, promise water, promise jobs. Take pictures with sick elderly, hug little baby and kiss forehead. Then what? They vanish like duppy in daylight. You don't see them again until election. Yet they collected millions in constituency development funds yearly. Where we go? We never go, not to the school, not to health center, not to farm roads, not to water tanks. It got in a contracts them with them friend, them cousin, them campaign team. The community remains in the same condition, but the MP house get bigger, car get newer, accent get deeper. Now let's talk about the education obedience. Why JLP never push for critical thinking in school, African-centered curriculum, real civic engagement training, because they don't want citizens, they don't want citizens, they want compliant consumers. They want children who memorize rules, don't ask questions, fear authority, worship politicians, and aspire to migrate from Jamaica. Jamaica don't have an education system. We have an obedience factory. And JLP is a plantation manager. Let's talk about the police state that we live in, disguised as order. You think JLP building Jamaica? No, they're building a control grid. More police, more cameras, more curfew, every minute curfew, more SOEs, state of emergencies, more drones, more digital surveillance. They just not fixing crime. They're just militarizing poverty. And once poor people get comfortable living on a police boots, freedom is dead. A safe society built on fear is just a pretty prison. JLP is not bringing peace. They're bringing predictable silence backed by batons and badge and guns. Now let's talk about the constitutional trap. JLP wants to change the constitution, but ask yourself, who are going to benefit? Not the street vendor, not the youth on the corner, not the rural school with no Wi-Fi, not the nurse on night shift. JLP wants to centralize power, expand prime minister control, reduce checks and balances, silence watchdogs, kill independent institutions. They don't want a new Jamaica. They want a new leash, but gold-plated. Changing the constitution without changing the mindset is like repainting a slave ship. Now let's talk about land theft 2.0. You see, under JLP, a new form of land theft is rising. Developmental orders that seize family land, zoning laws that price out the poor, eviction for unpaid taxes on ancestral property, government auctioning land to foreign investors, Jamaicans losing land not with chains but with paperwork. You live here for 60 years, your grandparents buried on it, and one morning you get your trespassing on government land. JLP is not distributing land. They are redistributing power to the wealthy. Now, where are the villages? Let's talk about that. JLP keep building condos, gated communities, concrete jungles. But where are the cooperative farming villages? Intentional community for black families, Afrocentric eco-villages, maroon-style free zones? Nowhere, because they don't want liberated communities. They want boxed up laborers. People work 6 to 7 days to pay rent, not own land. People who stay disconnected, not organized as people. JLP fears unity. That's why you hear them speak always creating division. They fear sovereignty. They fear communal ownership because they would end and their grip of power. If we unite, they're going to end them. Okay? So listen to the psychology of defeat. The greatest trick JLP ever pulled was making Jamaicans believe this is the best we can do. Them say, I saw the system set. Everywhere have problems. Jamaica nice man, you're too negative. Better must come eventually. Things not that bad. That's not optimism. It's indoctrinated apathy. Okay? When you teach people to tolerate abuse, accept crumbs, celebrate survival, and avoid truth, you don't need chains. You don't need a whip. You don't even need a prison because you have their mind. Now let's talk about the death of our black family. You see, under JLP Jamaica, more men are incarcerated. More women become under pressure because of that. More children growing up without guidance. More migration tearing families apart. More culture promoting division. Family values, they don't care. They only care about crime stats, tourism reviews, foreign direct investment, poll numbers and optics. But without strong family, the nation rots from the root. And JLP, they're busy planting plastic trees. Now let's talk about the final shame. We can't do better. That is what they want you to believe. The black people can't run a clean government. That Jamaica needs foreign help forever. That corruption is